Okay. Now, we're going to do video. Did one and it ended up all upside down. Hopefully this one doesn't. But we're going to do a video here on this 2000 Jeep Cherokee XJ Sport and this 1988 Jeep Comanche 4x4 Pioneer. Now, I didn't say four-wheel drive. Always happens four-wheel drive. Most Cherokee Sports are four-wheel drive. So, anyways, similarities. First off, they both say Jeep. Simple. Simple, simple. Okay, next thing. Now I could say, oh, they got the same grill, but they don't. This 2000 XJ's only got 7 slots, like a Jeep's supposed to have. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 slots. And come over here to this MJ. This MJ has 8 slots. See? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 slots to a grill. Fender flares are different. The Cherokee and the Comanche has different fender flares because they kind of look the same, but the Comanches and the older Cherokees of this same year as this Comanche they have this little bump in the fender flares, to where the Cherokee Sport from 2000 has some more smooth, slick look to it. Now they're both four-wheel drive. Now the Cherokee XJ inspired the Cherokee, or Comanche. Again, if you're confused, they look so much alike because they are alike. All a Comanche is a Jeep Cherokee with the back chopped off. And then they sealed it off. Like here, right there, they sealed it off. You can see they sealed it all off. And they put a welded cap on it instead of a whole roof like that one has. If you look at you can look at these. If you look at this truck, this Comanche, from the front end, and you don't pay attention, if you really just look, you can see it looks just like a Cherokee. You can see, you turn it this way, just look at the front of the Jeep Cherokee, it looks like a Cherokee. They look the same. So, they are the same, so some parts on these 2000s and these 88s and older will fit on it. Like the doors from this Cherokee XJ, this 2000 will fit on this Comanche. This Comanche's doors will fit on the Cherokee, obviously. Wheels are interchangeable because, of course, I got these off a wreck when I got in. I'll show you in a second. These rims came off my wrecked XJ that I flipped because I got ran off the road by a snowplow. These rims and these tires are off that Cherokee in there. These tires I bought just brand new, like this week, just last week, just went around Wednesday or Thursday. I bought these tires, and these rims were Jeep's old steel rims with the pop-out center cap. It stuck out about 2 inches. And they were all rusted and dinged up, so I was hoping these Cherokee XJ rims, which is off of this Cherokee XJ right here, is what came with this XJ, before I put these deeper dish offsets on it, would fit it. And sure enough, they fit it. So, the main differences are, like I said, one's got 2 doors and it's a bed. 2 doors and a bed. This has got 4 doors and a hatch. The ones that really symbolize more of a Comanche are the 2-door Cherokees, which you can get. Then I've seen people that have cut the backs off of them, hacked the back window bars off of them, and the windows, took the windows out and capped off the back and made a Comanche out of them. I've seen it done. It's not a very nice looking Comanche, but it's a Comanche. You can see it's a Comanche. Now this one is the better model. It's a Pioneer. Now these are kind of rare because, like my buddy was telling me about these, this one's rare because most of the time people wanted to have either the cheap one, which was a sports truck, which could have came in 4 or 2-wheel drive with a 6-foot bed, or the Eliminator, which is a 2-wheel drive, short wheelbase, 4.0 with a 5-speed transmission and bucket seats and the short bed. Really fast little truck. So the Pioneer was pretty rare. Now the Pioneer come with different things. They came in 2-wheel or 4-wheel drive, and they came with a 7-foot cargo space, which this has, rather than a 6-foot cargo space. So this one has different leaves on the back than that Cherokee does. Granted, I can put an out leaf on this one and it'd be good to go. Just the same as that, but these leaf springs off that will not fit this because they're like an inch or 2 inches longer, I think, is what it is. Some little number like that. But so just look underneath of this one. This is a 1988, that is a 2000. Obviously, that one's gonna look better than this one. So we'll crawl underneath this ogre door right here and see what she looks like. So as you can see, it's relatively solid. Someone has blinded at some point or another. It's got, I believe they're the Dana 30 front and back on these trucks. This has got a 27-gallon tank in it. It's pretty clean. As you can see, it's just got surface rust, which is natural on a frame. But you can see back here how they did this bed frame. Now if you look at it, it's all put together right here on the truck. It's all welded. You come back here to the bed though, look, it's spaced. So that's how they did. That's how they had to do it for a truck bed. It's not unibody. It's not complete unibody. Just the cab and the front end is unibody. So I put these, but there's that side of it. Now I put these BFG regular terrain tires on it, which is pretty good for mud. Major rust is here and the same spot on the other side, which you'll see in a minute here. But here's the back of it. It's got surface rust. It's not rusted through. It's just surface rust. I've repainted some of it to just touch up the paint. It's half-assed done. It's not completely done because I'm just going to repaint it in the summertime when it's warmer here in good old Ohio. But this Jeep is pretty relatively clean for Ohio. Now the only thing I do have a problem with is on the driver's side here, right underneath the floor. If you look up in there, this is able to move, and that is my carpet, which is not good, which I can get replacement place. Anybody that has a problem getting stuff with these, if you got a Comanche and you're having trouble, there is the factory that actually assembled these in Toledo, Ohio, runs a aftermarket business where they make stuff for these old Cherokees and Comanches alike of all years. Now, so they got everything you need now for the motors. Now we'll have to sit you guys up here on the Cherokee's hood. When I get in the, you guys ain't gonna see shit. I gotta flip the phone. Hang on. Alright, like that, guys. Sorry about the flip camera. I'm trying to do something here. Alright, open this bad boy up. Alright. Oh, shit. Alright, 2000 to 1988, 1988 to 2000. They both got a 4.0 liter. This one has a distributor cap in it. This is the very first. This is the earlier fuel injected 4.0, which is a little bit better in retrospect than this one's. They're good motors regardless, but all this is their 4-cylinder 2.5 that they had back in the 80s and early 90s in these Jeep Comanches and Cherokees. What it is AMC, who owned Jeep at one time, was using GM's 2.8 V6 in their four-wheel drives and their top models, and they found out that they just pretty much got almost the same amount of horsepower and foot-pounds of torque as AMC's actual 4-cylinder did. So they weren't enjoying it too much. They didn't like it. So AMC got together and reviewed this 4.0 right here. This is when this one was thought of. They thought and thought and thought and thought about it. And they was like, here we go. We'll take our 4-cylinder, stretch it out, put 2 extra cylinders in it, make it fuel injected, and bring out the 4.0 liter, the 4 liter inline 6, not a V6. Obviously, it's just one block. There's no V there. It's just one head, one valve cover, one head. There's not 2. So it's an inline 6 engine, 4.0. That's the early model. Then you come over here. This is the newer one. This is what some have told me. I don't know how true it is, but some have told me that are Jeeps, that these are the downfall of the Cherokee XJs, like this one, because these heads would crack because they're aluminum compared to cast iron. In this AMC, that's cast iron. You can tell the difference, obviously. You know, one's a lot different from the other. This one's like, you can see that down there. You look over at this one, they're cast iron and aluminum. These are aluminum. These are what killed them in 2001. These ran these XJs until about 2001. Exactly 2001, they quit. They said, we're not doing the XJs no more. We're done with them because one, the motors they were having problems with the motor, and they had to go to the newer demographic. This is a 2000. As you can tell, it's pretty square. It's just as square as this 88 here. Which the 88 is meant to be square because cars back in the 80s were square. I had a square body S10 in 87. So these are still square, and they had to reach out to the newer look, and they went to the round bodies. And then they brought the Cherokee back, but it wasn't an XJ. I can't remember what the name of it is, but they do have a Cherokee Sport Limited, and yes, Cherokee Sport and Limited. And what they look like to me is a Kia SUV. I don't know the name of the Kia's SUV, but it looks just like a Jeep. I've seen them in the parking lots parked next to each other. They're the same fucking thing. They look identical. Just one says Jeep, one's got a little bit different tail lights, but no, they look the same. Not like these XJs. You see an XJ going down the road, you're like, that's a Jeep. You see an MJ going down there, that's a Jeep. You see a Wrangler going down there, which the Wrangler is right over there. If you bear with me for a second, there's a Wrangler right over there. You can tell. So the thing that got me was they changed these to round body and made them look stupid, but the Wrangler is still somewhat square. I would like to see Jeep come out with another XJ or an MJ. They do have a concept vehicle, which is going to ruin the Comanche name. Unless you're a fan of the Renegade, the new Renegade, not the real Renegade, which is a Wrangler. But if you're a fan of the Renegade, you'll like the Comanche concept truck, because it's a Jeep Renegade with the back chopped off with a truck bed on it. They're in the military. That's what I've seen on videos on YouTube. It looks like they're military right now, but they're going to make it. And then for the the J20 full-size pickup truck Jeeps, they're going to turn the Wrangler into that. They're going to take their Wranglers and make them into pickup trucks. But besides that, so you see the underneath of that one. It was pretty clean for 1988. Now this is a 2000. This beast, this little girl here is impressive. We get underneath it right here and look at her. This thing is, the light's kind of shitty underneath here, but it's really freaking clean. I mean, if you look around here, this truck, besides the mud I got on it, this is still white. This is still white. There's no rust through on this truck at all. This one was cool. It came with this was the more higher up Sport. Now this one came from California, so it's a little bit, going to be a lot cleaner than that Comanche, which I'm going to guess is in Ohio most of its life. But here it is. It's got Dana 30s in the front and back too. It's got Dana 30s in the front and back too, car. But anyways, so it came with this transfer case and transmission guard, which I thought was cool. This one has tow hooks. My own one doesn't have tow hooks. This one's got fog lights. My other one doesn't. But we'll go up to the front here. I don't even see inside in the actual frame here, but look at that. That's all still white down there. Leaves are still clean. Everything's white. Only rust this thing has is up here and right here at the door. But this sucker will start right up. Ready? Here we go. No, I had to run a toggle switch. I had to run a toggle switch for the fan because it quit working like it was supposed to. So I do have to turn the fan on, but you turn it on, it starts right up. It's got some engine lights on. It's got the engine light on, the seatbelt lights on, obviously the airbag lights on, but that should go out. Okay, it went out. So the horn don't work on it. I had to take the relay out, but this one sounds pretty good. I have straight piped this truck. Sounds pretty mean, I think. You probably can't really hear me. I mean, you might be able to hear it, but this is a pretty nice looking little truck. It's a little dirty back here, but here's the inside of it. The wiper's weird. It only works when I had hatch up, so I think I got a fucked up wire. Seats fold down, and of course, because that's how all Cherokees are. But problems I've had with it. Problems I've had with it are like all Jeeps. The headliner sags. So I had thumbtacks in it, which isn't a big deal. I took this, and so that's not a big deal. So the things I've done to the inside here is I put these seat covers, which don't really matter. I've had to replace the shifter. It was all loose and shit on the original one. It's got electric windows, electric locks, electric mirrors. It's got a window lock on it, which is kind of nice. But so you got kids, you know, they can't be throwing shit out your window because, you know, kids can be a little pain sometimes. But I took this piece right here, this little wood grain looking piece right here. I don't know how good you can see it. Let me get a light on in here, which the light's already on. But if you look, you can see this wood grain. I took this out of a Cherokee Classic or a Limited. But the toggle switch to the fan, it has to be on. As you can tell, my fan runs all the time. If it doesn't, it'll overheat. This cat stays cold now. It used to overheat on me all the time, trail riding, driving down the road, whatever. And then the light bar on it. I'm gonna show you through this window here about how good this thing will look. Look at that, boom, it lights up that whole thing. Look at that. Look at that light bar. That's a 52-inch curved LED light bar. Made my own brackets because I didn't want to drill holes, so I made my own brackets, and they're clamped to this little gutter, as I call it, or railing, if you want to call it that. So there's that. There's my XJ. Pretty clean truck. I ain't had too many problems out of it. I had to put like I said, I got a parts Cherokee XJ in there that I wrecked. I had to take the throttle sensor out of it, and a couple other things. I gotta hurry up for my battery dies, but get to this one. Now this one runs a little bit rougher. Of course, it is an 88. It takes it a minute to start, but it will run. I drive this as a daily driver right now because I'm doing some work on that Cherokee XJ. But this one, there she goes. All I've done to this one is I had to put the shifter on. I don't like the skull, but it was the cheapest one they had because the gear shift knot that was on it kept falling off. Steering cover, seat cover, nothing major there. I haven't done too much of this one. I just got this one real recently, about a week ago. I've had that one for about 2 or 3 months. And I've done a lot to it in 2 or 3 months, but what I did do to this one is I had LED headlights in that Cherokee. Now I had the light bar, so I didn't think about it too much. But I put these LED headlights in. They're pretty damn bright. I got them off Amazon for about 60 bucks. This one does all right. I mean, it's a little bit weirder than that one because on the Cherokees, if you know, you got to push it forward to get your brights on, and then this one has a shifter up here instead of on the floor. It is four-wheel drive, just to prove to you that I didn't put a sticker on it. It is four-wheel drive. I put an aftermarket radio in it, but besides that, I really haven't done too much of this Jeep, but they're the same thing pretty much. All the parts pretty much will go on there. But yeah, this is my Comanche and my XJ. Same but different. So that's about all I got. Can't think of too much else. I'm gonna do it if I get any good luck with these videos. I will do more for you guys if you want me to. But I got to get a lot of views for this, so I'm not gonna make videos. I do a lot of stuff on Jeeps. I used to own Chevys. It's a Chevy guy, and I got, oh yeah, I was gonna show you that red XJ, I forgot about that. But I was a Chevy guy for the longest time. I like my S10s and my Blazers and my 1500s and my 2500s, you know. I never got into the Tahoes and none of that shit, but here is the 2000 XJ that I started on Jeeps with. I got this about a year ago, and I had done a lot to this one actually. I put add leafs on it, I put better tires on it. I did a lot of work in the motor area. But this one, as you can see, it landed on its top. When I got ran off the road, it landed on my top. But you look inside of this thing, you can't really, it really didn't ding inside too much as I thought it would have. But I got out of it upside down. I had to cut the damn seatbelt off myself. But here's the top. Dented in. This is caved right here. This has got a big old hole right here. I'm about to fall on my ass. But it got pretty beat up. I could have fixed it. I should have, but it only been a trail rig. And right now, this is my buddy's shop, and it's going to go to the junkyard. But I got a lot of parts off of it for my white XJ or my Comanche if I ever need to now. But I could have used it as a trail rig because it's never been on the road because you couldn't put a windshield in. I mean, you'd have to, it's all fucked up down through here, and that'd just be too much work. And putting into a Jeep that's almost 20 years old, you know, it wouldn't be worth it at this rate it's at now. But it got fucked up there. I mean, I stripped it all out. There's all the shit that I didn't need out of it in the back. But this truck was a nice truck. I mean, it was a really nice not truck. I mean, it was an SUV or Jeep. I don't like calling it an SUV necessarily, but a Jeep. These actually started out to be wagons, four-wheel drive station wagons. There's the back of this one. But you can tell it got beat up there. It got beat up through here. It tore the fender flares off on some of the sides. It broke a mirror. It tore some of it dented the freaking door in. It was a nice truck. It was a nice Jeep for Ohio. I mean, it had a little bit of rust, but it was actually, I mean, you could look at it and you could see it was a pretty clean Jeep. It had a rust down here in the rockers, which is normal with these Jeeps that have been around a cold area where there's a lot of salt at. But ever since I had that wreck, I just buy Jeeps because I came out of that wreck and I didn't have to go to the hospital or nothing. I mean, I just had a little bit of back pain, but I didn't break anything, didn't fracture anything, didn't get whiplash, didn't get nothing. So, nothing but scared and a little back pain, that was about it. But that's what made me get into these Jeeps, this Jeep right here. I was in the market for a four-wheel drive, a cheap four-wheel drive that was reliable. And my Sonoma at the time I had a four-wheel drive 2000 GMC Sonoma, extended cab with the third door, four-wheel drive. And it was getting ready to take a shit on me, which if you don't know a Sonoma, which a lot of people do, it's an S10, S15, S10, same thing. Except one says GM, one has a bow tie on it. But yeah, there's the old XJ that I started with. And ever since I started with this XJ, I just loved these Jeeps because I just loved what it did stock. It did more stock than my Sonoma did. I mean, I was going to lift that Sonoma and everything else because it gets stuck and hung up so much because Chevys get that fucking drop frame that is so ridiculous. And for Chevy guys out there, I'm still a Chevy guy. I'm just giving credit to Jeep where credit is due. The unibody, some people don't like, but the unibody does keep you ground clearance, and you could do some pretty good off-roading without going into expenses with buying lift kits and shit. And that's why I get into the Jeep XJs. I don't like the newer Cherokees. I mean, I would like to have a Wrangler at one point in time. When I get money to get a Wrangler, I'd like to have a Wrangler, but as of right now, the only thing I can get is Cherokees. And then when they're going, I'll probably get a Wrangler. So they're not going to be around forever. Comanche ain't going to be around forever. They're gone. They've been long gone for years on the market. So they're just Craigslist finds or Facebook finds or going down the road finds. So, but you can pick them up pretty cheap. Some people ask too much for them, I think. They think they're worth a shitload. I mean, they are. They got this nice 4.0 in them, which is good and all. But, I mean, some of these things are, like, really beat up. And they want so much money for it. The most I spent on an XJ or an XJ relation was $27.50. That was for that one out there. But I paid that much because, I mean, it's in pretty good shape. It's got 231,000 miles on it. But I got paperwork from that Jeep where they put a new rebuilt 95,000 mile 4.0 in it. So that's why I went ahead and got it. But yeah, that's about all I got. But No, I'm a Jeep and a Chevy guy, but I like my Jeeps a little bit better now than my Chevys. But give you one last look at the two. There's the XJ, there's the MJ. So I'll see y'all later.